Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm UncleLander and this is Gran Turismo 2 GT mode playthrough. On the last episode we have managed to complete the entire Open Car Cup, and on today's agenda I have in plans to beat the entirety of the 80's Car Cup championship with a Skyline RSX Turbo that currently has 182 brake horsepower, 1235 kilograms of weight, front engine, rear drive. As per usual, as per tradition, we're gonna get this car onto the test of 400, 1000 and one full lap on the test course before we're gonna take it on the actual races. So let's go. Oh, that lowest turbo over there. Jesus Christ. What it's gonna do? It's gonna have to do. And with time of 16 seconds, 0.1, we're probably not even remotely ranked. Yep, we're not ranked, but it still counts. We know a little bit about the car. We know that the first gear, if you would use manual gearbox, the first gear would need a little bit of an adjustment. Maybe would need a little bit of adjustment. Let's try this car at 1000 meters. .5 seconds. Fourth gear at 188 kilometers an hour. That's the result of the 1000 meter test, and it's probably unranked still because this car is not the fastest. And now let's get this car into a one full lap on the test course. Let's see what kind of maximum speed this thing is gonna squeeze. I am not expecting miracles, but I also believe that this car is not really that ridiculously slow. I think it has a significant amount of potential. There we go, fifth gear at 195 kilometers an hour. It already squeezes 200 kilometers an hour, which is actually pretty impressive for this car. It's been a lot doing such things in this game. It probably wasn't. It also was long for me because last time that I played this game in general, like a full playthrough, was more than 10 years ago. .232, 33, 34, 35. Can we squeeze 48 before we're gonna hit the corner? Yes, we do. 39. Yes, there we go. I know for a fact it's not gonna qualify us anywhere in the ranking, but it is still 239 from a 182 or 87 brake horsepower engine, I think that is still pretty impressive. .241, 242, 43, there we go, 243. Not bad at all. Definitely gonna reach those speeds much faster after I'm gonna be done with modifying this car, which is exactly what's gonna happen right now, because the first race in the 80's Cup requires us to have a car at 197 brake horsepower, so I'm pretty sure I will be able to install the muffler, besides the obvious gearbox, brakes, tires, and suspension. I'm just gonna make sure that I'm understanding this right. Yep, 197 brake horsepower at Trail Mountain. So without further ado, let's go to the Nissan and modify this car. Okay, I'm gonna touch this especially later, but starting first with brakes. I'm gonna modify everything that can modify the grip and gearing first before I'm gonna touch the maximum power output of this car. Being able to spec how suspension works helped make to silly fast cars, especially on the tracks. I mean, yeah, that's what adjusting settings actually does. It allows you to customize your car so you can feel most comfortable with it. That is the entire point. Hold on, hold on, gearbox, because yeah, okay, so we're going for the flywheel. I always get somehow forgetful and confused over here for some magical reasons. Oh, actually, this one also has a propeller shaft. That's nice. Okay, so that was the entire drivetrain. Now let's buy the professional suspension, the only one that we should ever buy. Take a look at the tires. Racing slicks and super softs. And from the other modifications, we're just gonna reduce the weight of the car. And now, I'm gonna take a look at the muffler. 187, 194, 195 brake horsepower. We are gonna fit just right with just upgrading the muffler itself. So we're gonna buy that, and we're gonna jump into the first race of the 80's Cup. I think after 80's Cup, I'm actually gonna try to do the Historic Car Cup. That would be my plan for the future. Would really like to get the Nissan Skyline JPC10, but I don't think it's gonna be possible for me right now. Already have a selection of 2 cars that probably gonna fit the category, so at this point, when it comes to the Historic Car Cup, it's all gonna be in the hands of the RNG. But first, 80's Car Cup with the Trail Mountain race, 3 laps. 3.5 and 4.0. That actually might be a little lower down. Let's try with 4.6. Actually, let's go 3.6. Yes. That at 1. Negative toe at the front. 4 and 5 over here. Gearing. It's already on the 5th, and I'm only doing 190 brake horsepower, so that high of a gearing is not going to be required, especially especially considering the fact that it's Trail Mountain. I think this height is going to be appropriate because it's it's a pretty track, so it's a pretty bumpy track, so yeah. Okay, let's give it a try. Yeah, when it comes to Historic Car Cup, I kind of have to think about it. Because the Historic Car Cup can be actually pretty difficult, considering the cars that we can get over there. So far, so good. The car sticks, the car turns, a little bit of oversteering, but nothing too outside of the region of fun. Slight problem with driving uphill. And I believe that this gearing was actually very perfect for it. Still reaches 200 kilometers an hour without over revving. No, over revving, without reaching the red spot on the speedometer. Please correct me if I'm saying something wrong, because I'm pretty sure I am. The first lap at 1 minute and 43. Entering the second lap. Over revving would be on the first gear. Oh, that was actually kind of awful. I thought I didn't touch the wall there, but never mind. Happens to the best of us. Maybe the words that I was looking for was not reaching the rev limiter. Maybe that. Maybe. Well, it depends, because in this game there's this thing called power band. And the specific cars at a specific point, reaching specific amounts of RPM. No, I'm gonna try to explain it once again. Basically, in certain cars, in many cars in this game, after reaching specific amount of RPM, your car, instead of having consistent acceleration, the acceleration just drops. That's the Jesus Christ. The maximum RPM is what we call power band. This is where, if you use the manual gearbox, this is where you shift instead of waiting to reaching that red zone on to the right side. You know how power works. Not questioning that, honestly, because I'm thinking that you're trying to tell me that in real life and not in game, because I don't drive cars in real life. I cannot drive cars in real life. I wish I could, but that's sadly it's not going to be possible for me. So that's a definition that can happen in both. Okay, okay. And the last lap of the race finished with 134 and 0.941 with my car at the first, Mazda RX-7 GT Turbo at the second, Toyota MR2 1600 GL Limited at the third, Nissan Micra Super Turbo at fourth, Toyota Starlet Turbo at fifth, and Toyota Corolla 11 at sixth. By the way, that Mazda RX-7 was a car that I was looking for a pretty much longest time, because I believe it is the best car for the 80s race period, if not even one of the best cars in the game. Alright, so we got our first race in behind us. The second and the third race is gonna require us to upgrade our car to maximum 345 brake horsepower, so we're gonna do that. Our car is not gonna get that much power, but it's gonna get enough. I think we're gonna reach the maximum of 282, 249, it's 309. Oh, actually, I'm thinking wrong. Because I upgrade the muffler, now I have to go for the engine upgrade. So we are buying up the computer. Engine balancing, that increases us to 205. Board grinding to 208. This car does not have NA tuning, the naturally aspirated. So now I can move to the turbo. The first thing I'm going to buy is an intercooler. That's going to increase the power of our car to 220 brake horsepower. And now the turbine, which is going to increase the maximum output of our car for now to 283 brake horsepower. And yeah, for now, for the next two races, this is going to have to do. We are not going to change the settings of the suspension. We are going to change the settings of the gearbox, though. The second race at Special Stage R5. I'm going to bring the automatic gearbox setup to 8. I think that should be enough. And let's start the race. 3 laps at Special Stage R5. Let's go. And just like that, we managed to cruise from the last position to the first position, all up in front of us. Hey Jeremy, maybe a reminder to all you guys, all of the episodes of the Gran Turismo 2 playthrough are being recorded live on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/UncleLander, links in the description. And the pinned comment too. I'm doing pretty good, Jeremy. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well too. The competition is actually pretty close to us, all things considered. But I think where my car wins is not that much as it is power. It's definitely the grip on the corners. And I think on the straights I'm also pulling up a pretty reasonable speed, because it seems like they cannot really catch up to me. You're doing great, glad to hear that. finishing up the second lap with a time of 1 minute 27.611. And we are finishing this race on the last lap with a time of 27.789. With us being in the first place, Nissan Silvia KS 1800cc at the second place, Mazda RX-7 GDX at third, which surprisingly is a car that is allowed despite the fact that it's from the 90s. On the fourth position is Toyota Corolla Trueno from 83. On the fifth is Skyline Turbo RSX, which is the same car that I'm driving, but with the worst driver. And on the sixth place, Toyota Celica from 1983. And our reward is 7,000 credits and a new car. Before we're gonna upgrade this car even further, we can still complete one more race on the list. And that is a race in Deep Forest. Let's go. We are not going to change any kind of settings for this car, as this car for this track is going to drive just fine, I believe. The suspension is already set up right. The gearbox maybe could be a little bit shorter, but I don't expect cosmical speed from this race. The LSD is done right, the brakes are working, there's not much else to say. Let's go for the third race of the 80's Cup. Got a solid start over here, already taking the first place. And now cruising through the Deep Forest Raceway. Ended up the first lap with 1 minute 26.556 and 209 kilometers an hour. Starting the second lap now. And the first corner is right behind us. Okay, yeah, I have heavily miscalculated the last turn. Finish up the second lap with 1 minute 19.831. Last lap of the race. Can I stop making silly mistakes like this? That would be great. Oh my god, this guy sucks. He doesn't know how to take the corners. This guy's so bad. He's just doing this for fun. This is not professional. To think that there are actually people like that on the internet that basically forgot what fun is. Ah, that's much better. And with the lap time of 1 minute 18 and 665, we finished the race with Toyota Corolla in the second, Mazda RX-7 GT at the third, Toyota Corolla Torino at fourth, Toyota Starlet at the fifth, and Skyline GTS R31 at the sixth place. Got 8,000 credits and a new car as a reward. Continuing on. Now the remaining two races are probably gonna require us to have a power of the car at maximum of 394 brake horsepower, so let's bring this car to that amount of power. To 83 to 53, and that is the maximum power output we can actually put into this car, which should be enough. We're also gonna increase the gearing on this car. From the current setting, we're probably gonna notch it by like 2 or 3 times. And the next race is gonna happen in the Seattle City course. Let's go. I don't remember if that's a short course or a full course. Yeah, according to this, it's a full course. 8 seems nice, but I think I'm gonna bump it to 10, and we're gonna keep that setting for the remaining of this championship. So let's go. And that's Toyota Supra from 93 or 91. Which I would consider that to be a little cheating. A little bit oversteering, but that was fun. One of the few examples in which AI actually cheats. Because if you want the best example of cheating AI, well, on NTSC version of this game, on the Trial Mountain Enduro race, the 30-lap one, the maximum power the maximum power of the car you can bring is 295. All of a sudden, a LM edition car pops out over there with over 600 brake horsepower. The other example of that is Historic Car Cup, with the Ford GT40 appearing at 295 brake horsepower race, while the car itself has 305. And then on the last race, a fully customized Shelby car shows up, as well as Chevrolet Corvette Stingray from 67 with 400 brake horsepower. This is why I was waiting for so long with the Historic Car Cup. Because I was hoping that I'm gonna get a good set of cars that I could test, modify, and then simply go with them. Sadly, we cannot get the Skyline KGP C10. So we're gonna have to use whatever we have found before, which is this Datsun and Toyota 2000 GT. I believe out of those two cars, probably Toyota GT 2000 GT has the highest chance of even remotely competing with the Ford GT. Slight bit of an over-rev over there. Finishing second lap with 1 minute 33.302. You guys didn't saw that. I wonder who's the guy on the second place, because he's definitely pulling up some significant distance between him and the other competitors. Oh yeah, this car is definitely fun to drive. I really like it. And we are finishing this race on the last lap with 1 minute 32.893. And the car on the second place, it's surprisingly Nissan Silvia KS 1800cc. On the third place we have Toyota Corolla 11. On the fourth place we have Nissan Micra Super Turbo. Fifth is Toyota Starlet Turbo. And on the sixth place, surprisingly, Toyota Twin Turbo R from 1991. Which is quite difficult to believe, considering that Toyota not only has probably like the strongest power output, because by default this car does 276 brake horsepower, I believe, but it's actually quite heavy with 1500 kilograms of weight. And just like that, more money, and we have won another car. Let's move to the last race of the championship that's gonna happen at Tahiti Road. Without further ado, let's just start the race. started the race, and as per usual, we are losing the entire pack over here. The Mazda RX-7 over here actually seems to be quite the man with a plan over here, just pulling out of the other cars. Sadly, we have not managed to find that car in the used car dealership, but it seems that in the end it's not really that necessary, considering that our Skyline RSX is doing just as good a job. Yeah, that jump definitely pushed me to the outwards of the track. That's pretty understandable. And just like that, we are finishing the first lap with 1 minute 15.108. Second lap finish in 1 minute 06 and 411. I really want to drop to the fourth gear over here. And just like that, we are finishing this race and the last lap and the whole championship at the time of 1 minute 07246. And the second place belongs to Nissan Micra Super Turbo, the third place to Mazda RX-7, fourth place to Toyota Corolla 11, fifth place to Toyota Armor 2, and the sixth place to the Skyline GDS R31. And new car acquired. With that, we have finished the 50s championship. Now let's check the rewards. And they are plentiful. And plenty of them are gonna get sold. Which is kinda sad, but it's a sad truth. But the final reward of this of the championship is 100% worth it. Starting with the Mugen Ferio car. It's a basically four-door Civic car, which is a pretty decent front-wheel, front-drive car. I know for a fact that I'm probably not gonna use this one. I'm probably gonna use something else for the front wheel, front engine event, so we can pretty much sell this one. Unless you have a lot of space in your garage and you can just keep the car, then hey, at least it's something that can keep your space. Next on the list is Mugen CRX Pro 3, which is also another decent front wheel, front engine car. Sadly, we are not gonna need it. Besides, you can get a second piece of that car from one of the other championships as well. Mugen Civic Type R. Now, when it comes to this car, I'm actually willing to keep it because it has quite a lot of power and it's also reasonably light. Just as the Mugen Integra Type R over here with 194 brake horsepower and 1080 kilograms of weight. Sadly, this one cannot have applied the racing modifications on it, but it's still a pretty decent car that gives us a lot of victories during the front engine car cup. And the last and not least, a car that you can basically, if you won the last race of the 80's championship, you get this Scarlet R30, the Silhouette Formula. Usually I get it in red, but this time we got it in blue. It basically, if you customize this car properly, you can win every, and I mean every race in the game with this car. Not counting the rallies, obviously, but any kind of GT All-Star, World Championship, any kind of race that requires 591 brake horsepower and higher, this car can basically do it for you. It's incredibly fast, incredibly agile. This car is just basically one of the best. That's all I'm gonna say. This car, if you win it, you basically have. This is where your doors are opening when it comes to Gran Turismo 2 and winning more powerful cars. And yeah, that would be that when it comes to this guy's Silhouette Formula. We managed to win it all with this Skyline 2000 RSX Turbo, and we managed to customize it to 353 brake horsepower and 1136 kilograms of weight. It seems like this is enough. I think I'm a little bit panicked. I probably could take even a weaker car, customize it, and it would still win. But it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, people of Twitch, we are still going to continue on the stream as we still have plenty of championships to win. But people of YouTube, this is going to be the end of this episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, consider subscribing, ring the bell, stopping the like, leaving a comment, all that good stuff. Links for all my socials can be found down below in the description, as well as in the pinned comment down below. The music that is playing in the background has been made by Car Casey at whitebataudio.com. That is his webpage, and Whitebat Studio, it is his YouTube channel, so consider also subscribing to him. Thank you guys once again. I'll see you guys on the next one.